It was just total pandemonium.
It was the most animalistic, barbaric scene I had ever seen.
Jeez. A man said the dog's owner was there but couldn't get them under control. The Kitsap County Sheriff's Office said that animal control ended up taking the dogs involved and that this was not their first reported incident. That means to me that this is an owner problem. Now, it might not be to the point of being able to get the pit bulls to change their behaviors because it's taught. But that has to be an owner issue. Something like this. Dogs get into fights. They do. D'Artagnan has gotten into fights with other dogs. Other dogs have gotten into fights with him. We were at a dog park a couple weekends ago, and there was a ball that everyone wanted to play with. D'Artagnan happened to have it. Another dog wanted it and just lunged at Dart, did the and I jumped in. I grabbed D'Artagnan. I picked him up. It wasn't vicious. But when dogs fight or even get into a little bit of a scuffle, it sounds almost always worse than it actually is because they're growling. But they usually don't bite and snatch onto them. But sometimes that does happen. And that's terrifying. And you don't really know as an owner what to do because your instinct is to get to your dog who's getting harmed or get to the dog that's getting harmed and kind of pull them away from the dog that's doing the attacking, which I'm presuming is not the right way to handle that. I don't know what the right way to handle it is. You would hope that there'd be multiple people, but one dog's the aggressor. They're not going to stop biting onto the dog that you're pulling away. So what are you supposed to do? And again, I don't want to harm any dog, although if you're harming my dog, all bets are off. But I feel like I'd be reluctant to kick or punch the aggressive dog, especially because you generally, at least at the start, you don't know how things are going to progress. But dogs, that's sometimes how dogs act. Pit bulls get a bad rap, although I certainly concede there's a lot of stories about pit bulls that get into these kinds of incidents. But I suspect it has more to do with the fact that bad owners happen to gravitate towards pit bulls because of the way they're built. They're huge, they're muscular, they're very broad, but they're just not naturally aggressive. They can become aggressive like any dog. A Chihuahua can become incredibly aggressive, but because of its stature, it's not going to harm people generally. I hate stories like this. And a Rhodesian Ridgeback. I love Ridgebacks. My first dog was mixed Rhodesian Ridgeback. Savannah. That was her name. Savannah, then Jasmine, then Bun, then Kerry, then this is my parents got a dog and I don't remember his name.
It's fun to stroke that weird tuft of hair on Ridgebacks, you know?
And it just goes up. Kind of look like that dinosaur in Jurassic Park where the back all of a sudden goes up and that means it's about to spit at you and then attack you. 1-800-465-8770 for your text. Every Thursday we post a weekly video update, this time taking you through the big scam in Washington State about banning plastic bags. It's brought to you by your local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn of None Better Tax Resolution. We post it on our social media channels. Make sure you check it out. When we come back, you pick the news. Story number one, the Maryland General Assembly called out for overriding the governor's veto on a reparations commission, or Diego Pavia is now getting attacked again by some ESPN dweeb because he used the F-bomb. Ugh. I like this guy. I'm on his side now, and I hope he becomes our next quarterback of the 13 Seahawks. Which story should we discuss? You pick, we talk when we come back. 1-800-465-8770. It's the Jason Rantz Show.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Rain on game day doesn't faze Dave. He's already got his poncho. Just needs to do something about those wipers. So Dave heads to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can handle the elements as well as his new wipers. Get wipers, glass cleaner, and more with no hassles, just help at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto-pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
I got to tell you something, Nick. I have really noticed a difference in your energy level since you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic.
And you know why?
Why?
Because they actually balanced my hormone levels. And when they do that, the largest change I noticed was that now I could sleep.
And then not only get more sleep, you just get more energy, right?
Right. So that all of a sudden that resulted in me, I started running again and doing all these things that I felt so fatigued throughout the day that I couldn't do anymore.
Okay, so at this point, do you want to apologize to me? Because I was always saying to you, every time you'd say, I don't sleep, I don't feel well, I feel kind of off, I go, well, you need to get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. And you're always like, blah, 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 blah.
I know. But now it's turned into something fun that we get to go in together.
So I need to hear, you were right.
You were right.
You were right. I should have gone to Longevity Medical Clinic.
I should have.
There we go. Fine.
Yes.
You know the right thing to do. Get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. Take the free health analysis at lmclinic.com.
Mitch here at Leathers, Washington's most eclectic home furnishings resource. There's a lot of chaos in the world, so take a break from social media and self-serving politicians. At Leathers in Issaquah, our design professionals will guide you to a happy place by elevating your home environment. More than leather, choose some of the latest fabrics and solid wood, something for every room in your home. Our guaranteed low prices, quality, and service will lower your blood pressure and be kind to your wallet. So check the chaos at the door and come experience a Zen moment at Leathers in Issaquah.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Last year, the big news, obviously, was the accomplishment of the big, beautiful bill, but that also comes with some big, beautiful changes to the IRS.
There are some big, beautiful changes going on, and so many of those changes in the big, beautiful bill impact 2025. There's definitely some big spiffs in there for the ordinary working person. One thing that I'm really disappointed in is the way that things have been communicated in regards to the Social Security. It is still going to be taxed. It's not like it's not going to be taxed, but it will be, for most people, a reduction in the amount of tax.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
SeattleRed.com.
Washington is a sanctuary state.
Local.
This was brought on by Democrats.
Conservative.
Democrats got all excited, high on their own supply.
Bold.
At least they can appreciate the president coming in with some type of help.
Finally, a website dedicated to local news in Seattle and the Pacific Northwest without the liberal spin.
This is going to be a major issue going forward.
Make it the first site you read every day. SeattleRed.com.
You're listening to the best of the Jason Rantz Show.
You pick the topic on the Jason Rantz Show.
Indeed you do. And you would love to hear me defend a guy who I feel like is being demonized. Diego Pavia. Now, to give the quick recap, he is was very good college quarterback. He was a finalist for the Heisman. He didn't end up getting the Heisman Trophy. And that night, he took a photo on Instagram with his friends. It said something along the lines of F all the voters, and then something, I'm here with my friends and my real back, or something like that, because he lost. He is, what do we say, 23 years old, 22, 23?
23, yeah.
That seems like a response you're going to get from a 23-year-old. And by the way, he didn't even write out the F word. It just said F the voters. And so people pretended that it was outrageous. I cannot believe he said something like that. Oh my gosh, we expect especially young male athletes to be G-rated naturally. That's real leadership. Okay. Well, I thought the story would be done. It is not. Because now they've got a ESPN star who's calling him out. Who is this star?
Reese Davis.
Who is he?
He's been there a long time. He's been an anchor. He does play-by-play sometimes. He hosts the college game day show, the big college football show.
So people know who he is if they are.
Yeah, he's probably one of the more known people there.
Okay. Well, I don't know who he is. He's a nobody. But he was on his podcast. And he said that he regrets voting for Pavia. He said, Heisman gets a lot of talk. And did we get the audio on this, or we were not able to find it?
I got it, yeah.
Oh, you did? Can you play it? Because I can't find it on
mine. When I find it.
Yeah, I don't think you can find it either, because I don't think you put it on the sheet.
I 100% pulled it, though. I remember doing it.
But you didn't put it on the sheet.
Oh, here it is.
Where is it?
Oh, I just found it in your files.
Okay, so you didn't put it on my sheet.
Maybe I didn't. I don't know.
You didn't. Okay, play the audio.
This one was different. I regretted the vote because after Pavia's behavior in the aftermath, I was like, man, I'm glad he didn't win. I'm glad he didn't win.
Okay, pause it. They're treating this behavior as if it was some sin against humanity. He said, F the voters. Big deal. Big deal. Big deal. This is not serious. This is not somehow something that should even define his reaction. It's just a nothing burger. Why are they attacking him? What's going on here? Is there something, like some underlying reason why they don't like him?
I don't think so.
Is he too talented and they don't like it? Is he too good looking and they don't like it?
He voted for him, so I don't think so.
No, he says he voted for him. I'm willing to bet he's just saying that so he has a story. Okay, he can play more.
That's not the way you should feel about a player that's as great as Pavia is on the field. I am delighted that Mendoza won because he will represent the Heisman in the way that I think it should be represented.
And I'm sure he doesn't cuss ever.
I don't know if Pavia has learned anything from the response and the backlash from his reaction to losing. I get it. It's disappointing, man. It's close to the Heisman.
Doesn't sound like you get it.
I get it. Got to suck it up sometimes, man. Every now and then in life, you got to wear a fastball in the ribs. Too bad. And he couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Ugh.
And I don't like this guy. It made me regret the fact that I had him atop my Heisman ballot. The right guy won, and I'm glad he won. And I don't mean this in a mean-spirited way. I wish Diego well.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
But
shut up.
I was so put off by the response, not because of the thing to the voters, but because of
I
the
would
way
argue that he's acting more childish than Pavia. He's the one who's the problem here. Okay, you can finish the 1 second left in this clip.
20.
Came across toward the guy who actually won it. Got to show a little class, man. You got to lose with humility. Winning's easy. It's always easy to win.
Pile
we dance around, we celebrate, we jump up and down, we smile a lot, right? Losing. That's when you find out what kind of person you are. How do you react when you lose? He should be better. I hope he learned a lesson.
Oh, I hope you never get on ESPN again, you sanctimonious buffoon. Dear God. swear, you'd think that he threw a fit and just like threw tables over and threw a chair at the wall and broke a bunch of stuff and stormed out. He posted an Instagram story, which is ephemeral by nature. It's up for 24 hours, then it disappears. Oh, I like this kid. If this whole football thing doesn't work out, let's see if he wants to get an internship here. He can replace Duncan. Now's the time to set strategy for 2026. Head on over to LegacyG.com and join Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund, delivering 9% on a fixed rate of return. Lock in those gains and invest in a stable platform. LegacyG.com.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not-so-wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company. Pure Talk.
Bonneville Seattle and Seattle Red are looking for organizations that regularly distribute information about employment opportunities to job applicants or have job applicants to refer. If your organization would like to receive notifications of job vacancies, please notify Human Resources at 1820 East Lake Avenue East, Seattle, Washington, 98102, or email us at seattlealljobs@bonneville.com or call 206-726-6902. Bonneville is an equal opportunity employer.
Is it time to get your home sold? Nick Southard with Upgrade Realty here. Put my luxurious marketing to work for you and save thousands in fees for only 1% listing commission. Visit upgraderealty.com. Upgraderealty.com.
Be a part of all the excitement at Beasley Coliseum this year. Come cheer on the Washington State Cougars men's and women's basketball teams as they host the likes of Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and Oregon State in conference play this season. Don't miss out on all the action. Grab your tickets to upcoming WSU basketball games today at WSUCougars.com/Tix. Again, that's WSUCougars.com/TIX. See you at Beasley Coliseum. Go Cougs!
Mitch here at Leathers, Washington's most eclectic home furnishings resource. There's a lot of chaos in the world, so take a break from social media and self-serving politicians. At Leathers in Issaquah, our design professionals will guide you to a happy place by elevating your home environment. More than leather, choose from the latest fabrics and solid wood, something for every room in your home. Our guaranteed low prices, quality, and service will lower your blood pressure and be kind to your wallet. So check the chaos at the door and come experience a Zen moment at Leathers in Issaquah.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth.
Having some certainty about your plan is definitely going to give you all the advantages.
Chris has the heart of an educator.
A couple of different ways that you can develop a retirement income stream that is infallible. It's simply not subject to the risk and loss of the marketplace.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth. Saturdays at 10 a.m. and Sundays at noon on AM 770 KTTH.
We are the boy band. Your tween made you see. We are the boy band. It's Painful Concert number 3. We are the boy band. We're 5 and 19. We are the boy band. Always singing on key.
You love your kids enough to take them to see their favorite band. Love them enough to make sure they're buckled up in the back seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic.
You're listening to the best of the Jason Rantz Show.
Folks, the yellow light. I'm walking here. I'm walking.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Jason Rantz Show on Seattle Red, 770 AM. Streaming on the Seattle Red app, online at seattlered.com. We've got a crazy, heartwarming story for a change. Ethan is a Wazoo student who worked with Congressman Michael Baumgartner to plan a surprise proposal at the Capitol Rotunda in D.C. It went off without a hitch. Both the congressman and Ethan will be joining us at 5:30. Do not miss that. But first, another Washington Democrat introduces a bill to help criminal illegal immigrants. That is what's trending.
What's trending? Let's get political.
Let us not pretend to be shocked that yet again, Washington Democrats are advancing a bill. This time it's branded as the Secure and Accountable Federal Enforcement Act. It's pushed by State Senator Drew Hansen, the Democrat from Bainbridge Island. And it is a sweeping proposal that tries to hide its true intent. It would restrict how immigration enforcement could operate at schools, hospitals, child care facilities, colleges, and election offices across Washington. And as is often the case, it makes zero distinction between violent criminal illegal immigrants and those in the country illegally who are otherwise abiding by the law, minding their own business, working and bettering their communities. It makes no distinction whatsoever. But of course, Democrats are claiming that this bill is necessary because it's about protecting privacy and safety. It's to protect against fear that is inflicting our communities. But the reality of this bill, SB 5906, the reality is that it largely restates constitutional and federal protections that already exist. It's not doing anything other than codifying pre-existing laws and rights into one place, but then layers on a new administrative requirement, or actually several, that make immigration enforcement more difficult in practice. That is the intent. Fourth Amendment is clear. Federal agents already can't enter non-public areas of private property without a judicial warrant. I suppose if you had exigent circumstances, you could, but again, those have to exist. That standard applies to immigration officers the same way as it does to literally any other law enforcement agency, including the local ones. So what this bill does is repackage that requirement across multiple sections, but then it says it bars access to non-public areas unless officers present a warrant, subpoena, or court order. As if this changes anything on the ground. It doesn't. That's already the law. It's already being followed. That's why when you see these videos of either raids or the arrests, they're happening outside, not inside. Unless someone's running inside, they can at that point chase that person. It's not like you can just run into a safe zone. But have you ever noticed why all the videos are outside? It's for this reason. They're not serving warrants to go in and searching places. Sometimes they do that. The bill, beyond mirroring existing federal privacy laws, discreetly makes it more difficult to target criminal illegal immigrants. Here's how it does. Despite the portion of this bill that duplicates existing law, it mandates reporting, documentation, policy adoption, and staff training when immigration enforcement activity occurs. Schools and colleges, hospitals, they would be required to notify administrators, legal counsel, or sometimes even entire campus communities when immigration officers are at the facility, regardless of whether or not the enforcement actions are lawful or who is even being targeted. If it's a criminal illegal immigrant who is ordered deported because of, say, a rape that he committed, that person is treated exactly the same way as if it was someone who was just minding their own business and were targeted for being, quote unquote, brown-skinned. The intent of these requirements is to create resistance. That's the goal. Resistance. The bulk of this bill is really meant to hide the scheme to obfuscate its true intentions by forcing public employees to escalate or delay or in some cases publicly flag immigration enforcement activity. What it's doing is stymieing cooperation with federal authorities as best as they humanly can, even in cases involving folks who enter the country illegally or re-entered the country after deportation and committed violent felonies here. That's what this is about, period. It defines immigration enforcement broadly, intentionally so, to blur any distinction between nonviolent administrative cases and serious criminal immigration offenses. And when they do that, they lose the argument. so long as people are honest about what the bill actually is. Now, in fairness to the Democrats' strategy here, it's probably a smart one because they know that you're not going to get any kind of distinction here in what the bill does or any kind of critical review of the bill in the Seattle Times or the Spokesman Review. You're not going to get it on King 5 News. You're not going to get it at KUOW Radio. They'll just celebrate this and republish some press release that State Senator Hansen puts out. And it's funny because I got the same press release that is going to be treated as news for my piece at seattlered.com for this whole segment. Same source document, but a little bit different in the coverage. Isn't that weird how that works? Let's find out what else is trending.
What's trending? Your health.
Earlier today, President Donald Trump ordered the reclassification of weed as a less dangerous drug, and he did that despite some significant pushback from Republicans. The reason why he's doing it, I'll explain in a second. But let's talk about what this actually does, courtesy of the president, as he announced this executive order.
Today, I'm pleased to announce that I will be signing an executive order to reschedule marijuana from a Schedule I to a Schedule III controlled substance with legitimate medical uses. We have people begging for me to do this, people that are in great pain. For decades, this action has been requested by American patients suffering from extreme pain, incurable diseases, aggressive cancers, seizure disorders, neurological problems, and more, including numerous veterans with service-related injuries and older Americans who live with chronic medical problems that severely degrade their quality of life.
But the practicality of all of that, because what he's arguing is fine and all, but this is not just about reclassifying it for the purposes of medicinal use. Marijuana is now in a category alongside drugs like Tylenol or even anabolic steroids. The reason why they're doing this is to make it so that it's, quote unquote, moderate to low potential for physical and psychological dependence, which then makes it less serious of a drug, meaning the DEA isn't going to go ahead and just pop a bunch of people who happen to be smoking weed. And he says that this decision is overwhelmingly popular. And I don't know if I would say overwhelmingly popular, but it is popular.
I can only tell you that when you see polls of 82% of the people want this, when I have friends that are really, really sick and they've gone through, I guess you could say, unfortunately, I don't want to become too involved in it because I don't want it happening. But these are people that really know what's going on. Very smart people. This is one of the most successful people in the country and a very brilliant guy. And when they go through this horrible ordeal of cancer or other things, and they realize that this is something that makes them feel better without all of the side effects of some of the drugs where you're just totally knocked out and out of it.
And medicinal use of weed, I don't think is controversial at all. But I will say, as someone who previously supported legalizing weed here in Washington, I don't think I would make that same vote again if I could today. At least not under the under the same circumstances of what legalization meant. We clearly didn't have guardrails up. We still don't have guardrails up, and it's done absolutely nothing to stop the black market drug dealing, which is how it was pitched. It's just an expensive way for wealthy people to purchase weed and the state to collect taxes off of it. Meanwhile, everybody else is still purchasing weed from their neighborhood drug dealer. This was meant for the folks in Medina or on Mercer Island or in Kirkland to feel more comfortable purchasing weed. It's for, the elderly couple, the former hippies on Bainbridge Island or Vashon Island who don't feel comfortable purchasing from a drug dealer at some street corner to go in and purchase the drug. That's all that this was about, or at least what it became. It did not do anything at all to stop the drug market. I have no problem with the people who are taking it for medicinal use, nor do I have a problem for research purposes. That this does, in fairness to the president's executive order, does involve, right? I mean, it is about making it easier to study. And I think that that's totally fine. And that was a point that RFK Jr. made.
This is a question, a scientific question, that has divided our country for many, many years. And there are valid claims on both sides. On one side, patients and physicians attest that cannabinoids and THC can have miraculous effects on chronic pain, on epilepsy, on PTSD, on chemotherapy-induced nausea. My friend Howard Kessler, without whom we wouldn't be here today, drove this change in the schedule, and he did it because of his own experience in mitigating the impacts of chemotherapy. There's nothing to gain from this. He just saw something that worked for him, that worked for thousands of other Americans, and he wants to make it available to them.
Fair enough, but the reason why this is being done is because this helps President Trump with younger voters. That is why this is being done. Now, I want to be fair to the president because I think he's done, in his first term, he did a lot to release from jail or make less severe punishment for petty drug use. I think some of it was taken advantage of, but I think that's why he's doing this. This is purely political. It's a smart political move. It really is. And Democrats are going to be in a position where it's going to be really difficult for them to criticize this. And so, again, after yesterday's speech and announcement with the $1,776 going to our military troops, that's going to be positive. He's going to get some positive coverage out of this. He's going into the Christmas break where people are kind of paying attention, but less and less so every day that goes by as we get closer to Christmas, with some positive news. So this does take some of the negative coverage away. They might find a way, but I find it very difficult to believe that Democrats are going to be able to really twist this into a negative. Ironically, it's the Republicans who will twist this into a negative. Let's find out what else is trending.
What's trending? The economy.
Washington lawmakers are staring down another budget fight. House Republicans are saying families are once again going to get squeezed. State Representative Travis Couture, Republican from Allen. He's also the ranking Republican on the House Appropriations Committee. He's rolled out what he calls a budget for working families. This is a no new taxes alternative that says, hey, Olympia, y'all don't actually have a revenue problem. You've got a spending problem. Joining me now is State Representative Couture. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on again, Jason.
So your plan basically says the budget here in Washington has grown twice as fast as household incomes, and that's been the case over the last decade or so. Where specifically does that growth show the clearest waste or mismanagement coming from the Democrats?
Yeah, I think what a lot of people are seeing on the ground floor level in our communities is that we continuously pay more and more and more in taxes to state government, but receive less in return. We're not getting more services for those things, for those tax increases and for the costs. And right now, our state is one of the most unaffordable places in the nation. Gas, groceries, rent, healthcare, insurance, you name it, childcare, gas. I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, we're in the top 10, if not the top 5, if not number 1 for the most unaffordable in the country in all those categories. Where we see the largest amount of growth is in the bureaucracy of state government itself. And as a matter of fact, in the last budget with the largest tax increases in state history, we grew that bureaucracy with a reckless 8% spending growth.
Democrats, you already know what their response is going to be to any kind of proposal. And we'll get into some of the specifics of the proposal in a moment. But let's just take head on their claims that new taxes, which you're trying to avoid, new taxes are unavoidable, and you have to put it out there to, essentially protect various services that are life-changing or life-affirming. They use very dramatic language, and you're arguing that no new taxes are actually needed, which is what Republicans argued last legislative session. So what, in your view, moving forward, can either get cut or restructured before we even have that conversation about new taxes?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things in the proposal as far as cost savings and efficiencies that I'm putting forward. And I think importantly, we refund some of the mistakes that were made in the last session. Like, for example, I'm fully funding the nearly $1 billion that Democrats cut from Medicaid. And so I'm proving here contextually that you can produce a budget that does not raise taxes, that protects core, critical, essential services that people rely on, but by reducing the overall growth in government and by doing so responsibly. For the last 4 budget cycles, we have spent more than we were projected to take in revenue. So you have to be able to learn your lessons from the past, and that is something that was not done. There was a lot of promises made, especially by Governor Bob Ferguson, and all of those promises were broken. And what we got is the largest tax increases in state history. And, of course, we've seen now that that did not work. We still face multi-billion-dollar deficits, and that's because they continue to kick things down the road for future taxpayers and future legislatures to continuously see further deficits. And so what I've built is a responsible framework that reduces the growth and the size of the bureaucracy in government to a responsible amount that makes sure that we don't cut service delivery, but we attack, for example, middle and upper management positions that aren't involved in service delivery, that we make sure that our higher education, our colleges, have the right administrative staff per student ratios that are within the bounds of reality. And so by right-sizing state government, you can save, like I've presented in my budget plan, roughly almost $4 billion without cutting a single service and fixing a lot of the things that were broken along the way.
But that would make the government smaller, and Democrats ideologically are opposed to that.
Yeah, but, at the same time that they're opposed to it, their hands are tied, because even if they, shoot for an unconstitutional income tax or an unconstitutional wealth tax,
which
or
they will.
5% bomb of a payroll tax, which would be a nuclear bomb on our economy here. Yeah. Those revenues wouldn't even hit the balance sheet in order to fast enough in order for them to even balance the budget this coming session. So what I'm fearful will happen is on Monday, you'll see Bob Ferguson's budget come out. It will be an all-cuts budget, but it will look intentionally ugly to scare people into wanting more taxes, to wanting things like an income tax. And as you know, it's not like they're going to roll off the sales tax when they introduce an income tax. No, they want it all, and it's going to destroy our economy, and we're already seeing that in the economic revenue forecast. So what I'm proving here is that you can do this responsibly, and I think that the majority party, the Democrats, are going to be forced into at least considering some of my ideas here, especially in the near term, because something has to change or we will be continuing to have this conversation every single year.
I imagine, though, but prior to even considering any of your ideas, and we're talking with State Representative Travis Couture, I imagine they're going to wait and see how the public responds to the trick that, you're right, Bob Ferguson will play next week when he unveils this budget that's going to have intentionally painful cuts that probably aren't even necessary, but he just wants you to think they are so that people will finally say, okay, I relent, just give us more taxes. I realize there's nothing else we can do. And, of course, as you know, media is going to play along and say, yeah, if we don't do the budget, if we don't add more taxes, we're going to see all these things cut from the budget. And they're going to wait and see, before even acknowledging your budget was put out, how the public reacts. And so what is the plan to overcome that?
Yeah, my plan to overcome this is I need to spread the message of this budget framework to as many places and as many people as I can. And that's a hard task, especially when the media is not on a Republican side. But we're facing a precipice right now. We're at the edge of a fiscal cliff. And I think that even some moderately liberal folks in the state of Washington are starting to question the massive tax increases and what it has gotten us. And I think that's important to show the center and the center left that not only did I produce a budget framework that has no new taxes and, yes, does reduce the size of government, but also protects and defends our classrooms, our public safety, and our health care, right? We are completely refunding Medicaid in this state. We're pouring millions of dollars into rural hospital funds to make sure our hospitals don't collapse. We're even solving some of the inefficiencies of H.R. 1 that was passed down from the federal level to make sure that actual working people don't fall through the cracks with their paperwork. We're protecting food assistance. We're refunding even the smaller things like the PIC Center, the Pediatric Interim Care Center for drug-affected babies. So we're showing that we can be fiscally restrained, but also that we have compassion for the people who absolutely need us the most in state government. And there are so many people across the state of Washington, and they don't see a party label, Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever they may be. They simply do not have any more left to give a state government that isn't producing any results in any measurable category. So what my plan is, Jason, is to make sure that this context is out, this budget framework is out there, and it shows that there is a different path forward if we choose it. And if Democrats choose to go a completely different path, an income tax, a payroll tax, or more taxes and more reckless spending and not fixing or reforming how budgets are made in Olympia, we have an election coming up next year where voters can choose based on the cost pressure that they feel at the kitchen table, which plan that they like the most.
Your point that people have to actually see your budget plan is the most important one. So, folks, make sure you're helping spread the word. We'll have details available over at seattlered.com. Make sure you don't just read the details, but more crucially, you share the details with friends and family members, neighbors who you've got good relationships with. This shouldn't be seen as partisan, but it is seen as partisan. So we have to make sure that people are at least getting exposed to conservative ideas here. You don't have to sell them as conservative ideas. Just say, which one here makes sense? More taxes or this plan that doesn't raise taxes? In fact, it makes significant cuts so that we can live within our means. Travis Couture, State Representative, thank you so much for stopping by.
Hey, thanks for having me on again, Jason.
Now is the time to set strategy for 2026. You can join over 1,300 local investors who've invested locally with Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. It's currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate of return. Lock in those gains and invest in a stable platform with Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. When we come back, you will not want to miss this interview. A Wazoo student worked with Congressman Michael Baumgartner for a secret plan to surprise his girlfriend with a proposal at the Capitol Rotunda. It is such an awesome story. Both Ethan, the Wazoo student, and Congressman Michael Baumgartner will be on with us in just a few moments, right here on the Jason Rantz Show and SeattleRed.com.
SeattleRed.com, the only place for local news.
He's using this, the mayor,
without the liberal spin.
to try to push back against National Guard coming to Portland to tackle crime and immigration.
Sign up for the newsletter and get the very latest local conservative news, opinion, exclusive video content, and more delivered right to your inbox every day.
We have got to stop entertaining this victim mentality.
Make it the first site you read every day. SeattleRed.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone,
Welcome to AutoZone.
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets the Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto-pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
It really is never too early to plan for retirement, whether it's decades away or just around the corner. Trajan Wealth's fiduciary advisors can ensure you feel prepared for this big financial shift in your life.
And Trajan Wealth understands the importance of tactical investments and tailored insights for growth in line with your risk tolerance. It's all about custom fit plans for you.
So here's the deal. When your portfolio reaches $500,000, the stakes and the opportunities change. Let Trajan Wealth help you maximize those opportunities. Call today to learn more.
And as an independent firm, Trajan Wealth is not bound to just one line of products or portfolios, and their fiduciaries. They're always looking out for you. Give Trajan Wealth a call today at 206-203-4400, 206-203-4400, or TrajanWealth.com. That's spelled TRAJAN Wealth.com. TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Woodworker? Check. Metalworker or material handler? Check. Equipment Sales and Surplus in Auburn offers competitive pricing on leading brands like Jet, Powermatic, Wilton, Bailey, and others. Whether you're a hobbyist or a fabrication shop needing metal forming machines, they have hundreds of machines and accessories. The only dealer offering scratch and dent and discounted items. Check them out in Auburn. EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com. Your go-to for woodworking, metalworking, or material handling. That's EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Start the new year taking active liver supplements from New Nordic. Online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
SeattleRed.com.
This was brought on
local
by Democrats.
Conservative.
Democrats got all excited, high on their own supply.
Bold.
We have got to stop this victim mentality.
Finally, a website dedicated to local news in Seattle. Make it the first site you read every day. SeattleRed.com.
You're listening to the best of the Jason Rantz Show.
The Jason Rantz Show.
All right, let's break it down with Seattle radio host and author Jason Rantz.
Jason, if I didn't know you, my first question would be, do you make these stories up?
No, they accepted this proposal.
I guess it's a measure of how much they really don't like Trump, isn't it?
Long form.
Welcome back to the Jason Rantz Show. On Tuesday night, we saw True Love in the Capitol Rotunda, and this time it wasn't just Eric Swalwell walking by a mirror staring at himself. We actually saw True Love, courtesy of a Republican congressman connecting with one of his constituents. Congressman Michael Baumgartner and his constituent, a Wazoo student, Ethan, join me now. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Jason. It's great to be on.
So, Ethan, you had a big announcement. You connected with the congressman so that you could propose to your girlfriend. Take us through what happened.
Yes, sir. So I actually just emailed in. I went to the tours page on the web page, and I just left a little special note saying that I was proposing and if there's anything we could do to make it a little extra special. And the whole way through, they helped me all the way through it and told me, here's what we can do. We can take you to the Capitol, take you to the Rotunda, and make it a great experience.
How did it all unfold?
The proposal, or
yeah.
Yeah. So we went into the Capitol at first, and they, to make it kind of a surprise, a secret for my fiance, they said that we were selected randomly to get a private tour by the congressman. So we went through, we looked at a couple things, the crypt, and then we went to the Rotunda, kind of cleared the room out a little bit. He took us right to the middle, and then there's a photographer there and everything. I just got down on one knee and proposed right in the middle of it.
Nice. Why did you choose this location?
I thought it would just be beautiful. It's a very historic area. The Capitol is just beautiful. It's an amazing place, from the artwork all on the walls to the ceiling. It's just amazing. I am very interested in politics as well, so I thought it might just be fitting to do so.
So, Congressman, you get this, your staff gets this note, I imagine immediately you were saying to yourself, we obviously have to make this happen.
Well, real credit to my staff. They set it all up. You get pretty busy as a member of Congress, and we're doing, 100 different things a day. And they said, well, Congressman, would it be okay if we did this wedding proposal? This is how we think it could go. And I thought, yeah, why not? I mean, such a special thing to do for somebody. And we always want to serve our constituents in every way we can. Sometimes that means meet with farmers to talk about help for wheat exports. And sometimes it means helping set up a wedding proposal in the Capitol. And they had set up a code word. At least my staff member had said that it was going to be, I was going to lead them through the Capitol. And then we were going to go up through Statuary Hall and then into the Rotunda. And that I was supposed to give some code like, Ethan, what do you think about this portrait? I think was something we were supposed to say. And I think it was the Declaration of Independence. And so but right as we were about to do that, another member of Congress had a couple of constituents that he was leading through. That was Congressman Blake Moore from Utah. And so I had to go over to Blake and say, hey, Blake, can you scram? I got a wedding proposal about to happen. And he was great about it. So they went around, and then because we wanted to capture the moment for them. But it was wonderful to see Ethan and his bride to be Paris are very great young people, and it was fun to see the proposal. And certainly my staff was a little teary eyed when it was going on, just because of the romance of it all. And it was fun to be able to show the pictures on our social media and share the moment, not just with our constituents, but there's been a lot of people nationally that have now followed the story as well too.
So, Ethan, how nervous were you?
So what happens, I kind of have a process where I might be nervous the day before or a couple days before, but I just keep telling myself in my head that I'm not nervous at all. I repeat it out loud and I tell myself in my head. So once the actual moment comes around, I'm genuinely not nervous at all.
Nice. Did you go into this, though, knowing she would say yes? Because I always get nervous on behalf of people who are doing this in public.
Oh, yeah. We've known each other since middle school. We've been dating almost 3 years now, but we actually kind of fake dated in middle school as well. So we've really known each other a long time. This is a long time coming for sure.
My staff was nervous for him because they wondered what would actually happen if she said no. And then it would be awkward. It'd be an awkward end of the tour.
That could end your political career, Congressman. You can't be associated with that kind of scandal.
Well, yeah, we were glad that romance won out. And then actually, after they had the proposal there in the Capitol Rotunda, which of course, in this precious democracy, this republic of ours, symbolically, the most important place in the republic really is that Capitol dome and what it stands for, that our rights are given by God and not by government, but government is there to make sure that your rights are protected. And not infringed upon. And so there's so much history there. And of course, just a few months ago, President Trump was getting inaugurated right in the very same place where the marriage proposal took place. But after that, we walked them out of what's known as the speaker's balcony. So it would be, if you ever think about traditionally when the president is inaugurated outside, that is the balcony where we took them afterwards, and they could look down the National Mall at the Washington Monument, and then in the distance, the Lincoln Memorial, and it's all lit up in lights and in the Christmas season. So, very, very beautiful and moment, I think. And it was nice that people can enjoy and share a little bit of the story as it went along.
Absolutely. Ethan, does Paris share your love of politics?
She does, yes.
Okay, so she understood also just how cool this particular location was.
Yes, it was a very historic, very beautiful place.
So how do you, where's the wedding going to be? Is it going to be on the White House lawn?
That would be great. I'm not too sure yet. We're planning a little bit of a long engagement while I still go through college, but
yeah, I'm a good congressman if I'm that good a congressman, though, to get it on the White House lawn.
You've got some pull, Congressman. Come on. Between you and I, we can ask them for a favor.
If anybody would enjoy it, would probably be President Trump, and First Lady Melania. But we'll see. Obviously, we just wish Ethan and Paris all the best. Paris is actually sitting just outside a camera shot, listening to this story. So she was a little shy to get on the camera. We don't certainly want to respect that. But she's smiling here, watching this whole interview and enjoying the moment.
It's just so cool. We don't normally get these kinds of stories out of D.C., certainly not with all the division that's currently going on. You guys have a lot on your plate. And so for you guys to sort of fit this in and, make this kind of memory for Ethan and Paris, that's pretty cool, Congressman.
Yeah, it was nice. And like I said, obviously Congress is very busy, had a lot of things going on the floor. So it was nice we could do it at the end of the evening when things had calmed down. And you're right, there's enough divisiveness in politics. It's nice when there's moments that can bring everybody together. And I've gotten a lot of nice compliments from some of my Democratic colleagues today that have seen the story. So, true love is not red or blue, not Republican, Democrat. I guess in this case, true love is red, white, and blue, given where the proposal took place. But it was really nice.
Ethan, you voted for Michael Baumgartner, right?
I actually was ineligible to vote at the time of the election. So,
but re-election time.
Absolutely.
What do you want to do? What at Wazoo? What are you studying?
Right now, I'm studying political science. I plan to go into a pre-law program. I want to start out as a defense attorney and then, whittle my way into politics as time goes.
Oh, nice. Well, how about this? We'll give you the opportunity to get into politics right now. What do you think of the healthcare subsidies debate?
I haven't studied too much into that.
Okay, well, then that question's for Michael. Congressman, what's going on?
What's going on? Look, Obamacare was essentially set up to fail from the time that it was created by the Democrats with no Republican votes, and it was essentially a scheme designed by the Democrats with insurance companies to really increase their profitability, but in a way that took choice and competition out of the market. And what happened during the COVID era was the Biden administration used the uncertainty of COVID to just flush money through the system, borrowing trillions of dollars to flush money through the system. And it's a system that is significantly in need of reform. So when you talk about the subsidies, the Democrats have really framed this conversation as if these subsidies are some sort of noble, golden aspect of our healthcare system. They're really not. It's the symptom that the system is failing, and I want to fix the system. So I'm open to the political realities of what may need to happen in terms of the reality. We have elections coming, and there's costs that have gone up. But I'm not just going to vote for something that continues a broken system. I want to reform the system, and that's where most of the almost all of our Republicans are as well too on the system. And the not so secret of Washington, D.C. is that Democrats don't actually want to fix it. What they want is healthcare premiums to go up so they could blame it on Republicans, and then they can use that as their main argument for getting back into power and retaking the majority. So we weren't just born yesterday on this issue. And so we just need to continue to message the American people that it's the Democrats that have broke healthcare. Republicans have real solutions. Those solutions are to bring more choice and competition back into the market. And when you're talking about this issue, one area of healthcare costs that are extremely competitive and costs have stayed low is laser eye surgery. You think about how affordable laser eye surgery is for folks, and that's because it's not subsidized. It doesn't go through the insurance market. People pay cash. And when you see that competitive market take place, it keeps costs low and accessible for folks. And it's all the other challenges of things that have gone on in healthcare that has really driven costs up. So I'm confident we have some good Republican solutions for that to increase the supply side of healthcare. But I'm not just going to vote for these subsidies just because the Democrats have attempted to create a crisis with their partners in the left-wing media.
So long as Republicans stay in control, what's the future look like for Ethan and Paris?
Well, hopefully, they got to focus on their studies and hopefully true love. But, hopefully I'm optimistic. They look like a wonderful couple. Fun getting to know them yesterday. And, it's when Ethan continues to go through his studies and wants to come back and be an intern for Congressman Baumgartner's office, we'll probably take a look at that. And but just wish them all the best. And I guess if anybody else out there in Eastern Washington State wants to have a marriage proposal. And it's all, we do a lot of things for constituents in my office. Normally it's helping veterans get services from the VA. We do a lot of immigration cases. We've got over $3.5 million back from the federal government that for overpayments and mispays that we've returned. But I guess we can add a wedding coordinator to the list as well, too, at least in this case.
I love it. No annulments and no divorce announcements, though. The congressman is not going to be handling that. It's just true love.
No, that's right.
Congressman, thanks for coming on. And Ethan and Paris off to the side, thank you so much for sharing your story and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason.
You're listening to and watching The Jason Rantz Show.
Hey, Seattle, it's Dana Lash.
Seattle, this is Guy Benson.
And I'm so excited.
It is an honor to be part of the all-new Seattle Red.
I love Seattle Red because it's such a bold step.
Creating an even bigger voice that spreads our conservative values and principles across multiple platforms.
I'm doing my part with The Dana Show every weekday from 9 to noon.
I'm doing my part with The Guy Benson Show every weekday from noon to 3.
Do your part.
Join us at Seattle Red on 770, seattlered.com, and the Seattle Red app.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz here for Northwest Safe. Protect your valuables with a reliable gun safe from Northwest Safe. They're an exclusive Liberty Safe dealer. These are American-made. They are built tough. Liberty Safe is the most trusted name in the safe industry. And at Northwest Safe, because they exclusively sell the Liberty Safe as their dealer, you get better pricing, exclusive rebates, and you get the perfect safe for your home or your business ready to go in stock. You can visit their showroom in Enumclaw. They've got hundreds of safes on display. Or you can go online to nwsafe.com, nwsafe.com. And when it's time to have it delivered, they don't just drop it off at the front porch. They bring it into the home, upstairs, downstairs. They bolt it to your basement floor if that's what you want. Protect your firearms, secure your valuables, and do it with white glove delivery and unbeatable service. Northwest Safe makes sure Liberty Safe does what it does best, keeping you safe. nwsafe.com or call 1-888-404-SAFE.
Mitch here at Leathers, Washington's most eclectic home furnishings resource. There's a lot of chaos in the world, so take a break from social media and self-serving politicians. At Leathers in Issaquah, our design professionals will guide you to a happy place by elevating your home environment. More than leather, choose from the latest fabrics and solid wood, something for every room in your home. Our guaranteed low prices, quality, and service will lower your blood pressure and be kind to your wallet. So check the chaos at the door and come experience a Zen moment at Leathers in Issaquah.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off. Because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Rain on game day doesn't faze Dave. He's already got his poncho. Just needs to do something about those wipers. So Dave heads to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can handle the elements as well as his new wipers. Get wipers, glass cleaner, and more with no hassles, just help at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
No heat, electrical issues, frozen pipes, no power? John Curley here, recommending you call Home Comfort Alliance. For over 40 years, doing heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical right, including standby generators. Call the comfort people at homecomfortalliance.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters, a show that covers everything having to do with your home. Tune in every Saturday from 2 to 3 on Seattle Red, where you'll hear from local business owners who are experts in their industries. From foundation to flooring, roofing and windows, furniture and financial planning, it's everything in and around your home, and we've got you covered here on Home Matters. If it matters to you, it matters to us here at Home Matters. Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on Seattle Red, or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Be a part of all the excitement at Beasley Coliseum this year. Come cheer on the Washington State Cougars men's and women's basketball teams as they host the likes of Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and Oregon State in conference play this season. Don't miss out on all the action. Grab your tickets to upcoming WSU basketball games today at WSUCougars.com/Tix. Again, that's WSUCougars.com/TIX. See you at Beasley Coliseum. Go Cougs!
Jason Rantz on Fox News.
Taxpayer dollars are literally getting looted.
The second that you say, maybe this program for insert the marginalized community doesn't actually work, you're immediately deemed to be racist.
And every afternoon, 3 to 7 on Seattle Red.
You're listening to the best of the Jason Rantz Show.
The Jason Rantz Show.
Bring in Jason Rantz, Seattle Red 770 AM host, and also SeattleRed.com. Jason, great to have you with us.
Jason, Seattle is just continually ground zero.
Yeah, and this is really the Pacific Northwest is ground zero for all this nonsense.
USA Today is mocking the far left.
The quick hit.
President Trump announced today that he's suing the BBC for $10 billion over a defamation claim from a documentary that they produced that very clearly, very obviously took out of context and misrepresented the speech he gave in D.C. on January 6th. It very clearly and egregiously edited the statements that he made, or two separate statements that he made, to make it seem like he called for violence, for people to march down and commit violence on the Capitol, which did not actually happen. And so the civil complaint accuses the BBC of producing a, quote, false, defamatory, deceptive, disparaging, inflammatory, and malicious depiction of President Trump. Now, it aired a week before the 2024 election, which is why he's making this lawsuit to be, to the tune of $10 billion. Obviously, he won the election, which actually makes his defamation case a little bit more difficult in a general sense, because it's going to be more difficult to prove damages if after they aired the BBC broadcast, he wins. What are the damages, right? Now, I imagine they claim we would have won even more decisively. And that's a valid point. I don't know if you're going to be able to show that a documentary that aired, in the UK had any impact whatsoever on the votes of Americans, right? It just, most people don't watch the BBC, couldn't tell you what channel the BBC is on. I don't even know what channel the BBC is on, and I think we have cable in this office or the studio that is the full package. I couldn't tell you where the BBC was. So it's going to be a little bit difficult for him to, or his team, to make that case. I'm not remotely familiar with standards of defamation in the United Kingdom, but this was filed in Miami federal court, which means they're going by American standards of defamation. The BBC has already apologized. They apologized November 13th and said they wouldn't air the documentary again or show it on any of its platforms, but they said they disagree that there's a basis for a defamation claim, because part of defamation, you're going to have to not just show the damages. And again, it's very, very difficult. It's a much higher bar for public figures when it comes to defamation or slander. But they're going to say they didn't do it with any nefarious intent, that it wasn't done intentionally. And that does play a role in defamation law. The lawsuit, though, to get to $10 billion, they're saying $5 billion in damages for each of its two counts, defamation and a violation of Florida's Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act. And again, they're doing this in Florida, one, because it's a little bit, legally speaking, friendlier to the Trump administration. But I believe they're doing it because BBC was broadcast in Florida, as it is in any state. So I'm assuming he's got standing in that jurisdiction. But again, that's going a little bit beyond my expertise when it comes to the law. They did not cover this on any season of The Practice. Naturally, there are people who don't like this and pretending like this is outlandish. Brian Stelter, the media dork over at I'm kidding. The media darling over at CNN.
Number one, a year ago, it was unheard of for a sitting American president to file a lawsuit against a news outlet. This never happened before until President Trump returned to office for a second term. But now, this year, he has sued the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and as of this morning, the BBC. So he is charting a new course, trying to take his war against the news media to court. And it's going to be very difficult for him to do so, but he's trying anyway. Even if these lawsuits are just PR stunts, he is getting the headlines.
I love that he calls them just a PR stunt. Does anyone actually believe that Trump isn't very, very, very upset and takes this very, very personally? That it's just a PR stunt on what? A documentary no one even heard of?
He wants. He is charging defamation against the BBC and arguing that Florida is the appropriate venue for a lawsuit. I spoke with numerous legal experts, media law professors overnight who are very skeptical of Trump's chances, in part because it's going to be hard to prove that he was actually damaged in Florida. But like I said, the headlines might be the point.
I don't know if the headlines are merely the point. He's right on the last part when he's quoting some of the experts, and that to prove this is going to be difficult. And by the way, because I just looked it up and it didn't sound right. He said Trump is the only president to sue the media. That's not true. Bill Clinton filed the libel lawsuit against Star Magazine. That happened back in, it was 1994. So he was president at the time. So the claims that never happens is just not true. It's very rare, in fact. And it is fair to say Trump does this a little bit more or significantly more often than we've seen in the past, because I can only find Bill Clinton. To me, I don't know if that matters. Brian wants it to matter because he wants you to think that there's this war on the media. And by, let's be clear, by no stretch of the imagination should anyone think that Donald Trump is a friend to left-wing media or even sometimes right-wing media. He's not. But the world in which Brian Stelter is living and what others might want you to think to try to discourage this kind of act is that there should be no consequences for bad faith reporting. And I don't mean making errors. And I do think the bar has to be very high when you're getting involved in lawsuits like this. And there are free speech implications. However, it's also true that just because you're a media outlet, you should not just get blanket coverage to report as irresponsibly and as nefariously as you want. Now, you have to make the case in front of a judge or a jury that the content that was reported on or edited was done so with dubious intent. You were doing it with the intent of harm. You still have to prove that. But we know that exists. We know that there are reporters who are sloppy to the point of absurdity, and you know that it's being fueled, I should say, by their anti-Trump bias or anti-Republican bias or whatever. And, conservative media outlets have done that too, or conservative media voices have done that too. And they are also equally deserving of being called out. You don't get to just do whatever it is you want and then cover yourself. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. And if there weren't so many bad faith reporters out there who have just been absolutely broken by Donald Trump, I might have a slightly different position. My only worry is that it can easily get into the point where you're starting to sue people for honest mistakes, good faith mistakes, even if they're egregious. And I work in media, and I imagine I haven't yet, but at some point I might make a mistake. Or Jackson, who makes a mistake every single day, it might end up leading to a lawsuit that I'm going to have to pay for because he works on the show. And so I'm hypersensitive to that. But you can't just get away with absolutely anything. And the president is trying to send a message. It's not a PR stunt in the way that Brian Stelter is painting it. I think it's hey, media, I'm putting you on notice. If you make bad faith attempts to, quote unquote, report on us in a way that's, intended to harm, we're going to come after you because that's not protected speech. Free speech does not cover defamation or slander. That's not covered in the First Amendment. Doesn't give you that kind of protection. We're going to go after and defend ourselves tooth and nail if we need to. And in that regard, I completely understand and support what the president is doing. I just don't want it to get into, you made a mistake, I'm going to go after you, or you said something mean, I'm going to go after you. It does need, I think, it needs to rise the reporting to a certain level. BBC, actually, I think it does rise to that level. 1-800-465-8770 for your text. Don't forget, you can check us out at seattlered.com. Video, audio. We've got a bunch of articles, news, and opinions from across the Pacific Northwest, not just Washington, but Oregon and Idaho as well, without any of the left-wing spin. Make sure you're checking it.
The following is a Playfly Sports presentation of the Cougar Sports Network. Washington State basketball is on the air with the Coors Light Cougar Courtside Show.
Makes the pass, left wing three, takes it, and makes it. Oh, and another big three is needed. It's Reeve Avers who delivers again. Takes away the pass, 2-on-1 fast break, alley-oop block. Tomas Rogerson, one-hand alley-oop lay-in.
Coors Light, choose chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly. Coming up, we'll get today's keys to the game, check the latest scores around college basketball, and hear from head coach David Riley. Now, let's go courtside. Alongside WSU Athletic Hall of Famer and 14-year NBA veteran Craig Elo. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Good evening and welcome into Beasley Coliseum in Pullman for the first game of the 2026 season for the WSU men's basketball team. It is the home conference opener. Washington State at 6-9 on the year, 1-1 in WCC action, getting ready to square off with the Loyola Marymount Lions. The Lions make their way to the Palouse 10-5 on the year and 1-1 in the West Coast Conference. The Cougs back in action for the first time since Tuesday. It was at Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle when Washington State fell to Seattle U 69-55. Tomas Thrasserson was hurt in that game late in the first half. The Cougs went the entire second half without one of their top returning pieces for this year. The loss ended a 3-game winning streak for the Cougs. It was the fewest points put up in a game this year for Washington State. Statistically, it was a wild game. The Cougs had 54 rebounds, most in a game for the program since 1997, plus 26 when it came to the rebound margin, 25 offensive rebounds. But the Cougs had 19 turnovers, only 5 assists, and it was the worst shooting game of the season, going 19 for 64 from the field, shooting 29.7%, and just 4 for 27 from beyond the arc. And Eggs, as we get ready for this game here tonight, that was such an anomaly. It feels like, I'm assuming we're going to look back on that game, and it's going to be this crazy outlier, but the Cougs are looking to turn the page on what was a difficult night there against Seattle U.
Yeah, and most times, Chris, I would think coaches would be happy to go 1-1 on the road.
And I'm happy too. But it seems like going into that Seattle game, we played kind of upsy downsy with Portland that kind of made this game the same way. But you're right. I mean, so many things went south on the Cougars except for rebounding. I mean, they just controlled the boards, 21 offensive boards, I believe, also. Just no second chance putbacks. And, I mean, the thing I was disappointed in the most was the free throw shooting, because that was something that we have done good all year long. And, I mean, 1 for 9 in the second half.
Start the second half.
Oh, gosh, it was just horrible. If we make those, it's a different ball game.
Well, the Cougs, a fresh opportunity here today against Loyola Marymount, and Eggs is going to take us right to your keys to the game. What's on the top of your mind when it comes to getting a victory here against an LMU squad that's 1-1 on the year, but their only loss was a tight one against St. Mary's?
Yeah, I mean, a team that, and I think this is like Seattle that beat us, and even Idaho that beat us, were a group of guys that had played together, and those had been the one thing that has really gotten under the Cougs this season so far. But the thing I thought long and hard about this on the flight back after the Seattle game was defensively. I mean, that's the one place that you can work hard. You can do anything. Offense, your shot might not be falling. You might set your teammate up. You might look to go inside to the bigs to get closer to the rim, but defense is consistent. You can do that hard all game long. We were just fundamentally bad on the defense against Seattle, and just simple rotations. Be quick to your rotations and cover for your teammate. If I don't really want to see us block a lot of shots, I would rather see ND or EY or Ugbo come over and just change the shot or change the direction of the basketball and then recover. And then the worst part was our closeouts. We would close out horribly, standing straight up. It's fundamental things that you can work on in practice. And, of course, there's not a lot of time to practice right now, but I'd just like to see us tonight play a sound defensive game, because when the shots aren't falling, the only way that you can keep yourself in the ball game is with defense.
Tonight's matchup with LMU gets the week started as the Cougs will then head up Sunday, second and final game of the year at the Spokane Arena, taking on Oregon State. Feels like whoever comes away with a victory here feels like they've got some wind at their sails at the start of conference play. It's the Cougs and LMU right around the corner. Still to come on our pregame coverage. We'll have our opposing team spotlight, take a closer look at the LMU Lions, and we'll turn it over to Austin Samuels with a scoreboard update. We'll sit down and talk with head coach of the Cougs, David Riley, and we'll have the starting lineups and tip-off here from Beasley Coliseum. That's all after this timeout. You're listening to Washington State basketball on the Cougar Sports Network.
Okay, text from the wedding planner. She's talking about a cake pop mural.
Ah, exciting.
Ooh, it's $8,000.
Oh.
I don't know, we're trying to save for a house.
Well, you only get married once. Or twice. 3 times tops.
There's a lot of bad money advice out there. For knowledge you can trust, come to Gisa Credit Union. Whether it's saving for the wedding or everything that comes after, we can help get you where you want to be. Find a healthier approach to money at Gisa.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
If we know anything about Cougs fans, it's that a win isn't all you're hungry for on game day. So Northern Quest has a full lineup of restaurants and lounges ready to face any appetite. Cheer on your Cougs with craft beer and cocktails in front of Epic's 10 by 30 foot screen. Grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, or tackle a burger at Fat Burger. You know, before it tackles you. Full menus at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
Be a part of all the excitement at Beasley Coliseum this year. Come cheer on the Washington State Cougars men's and women's basketball teams as they host the likes of Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and Oregon State in conference play this season. Don't miss out on all the action. Grab your tickets to upcoming WSU basketball games today at WSUCougars.com/tix. Again, that's WSUCougars.com/TIX. See you at Beasley Coliseum. Go Cougs!
Courtside at Beasley Coliseum, the Washington State Cougars hosting the Loyola Marymount Lions in the first game of 2026. Chris King with Craig Elo Eggs. We take a look at this Loyola Marymount squad. They come into this game 10-5 on the year, 1-1 in conference play. They've got the 6-year coach Stan Johnson, and the Cougs played LMU twice last year, once in the regular season at the Spokane Arena, and then they knocked out LMU. They ended their season in the West Coast Conference Tournament. Cougs went 2-0, and there was a little testiness at times between Stan Johnson and the Cougar coaches, so that'll be an interesting storyline. They maybe weren't exchanging Christmas cards this year.
No, and I think if you and I know David Riley very well, and he's very competitive, and he loves to fight for his team, and I think that's kind of the miscommunication there. I don't think anything was directed at Coach Johnson himself, but just David's antics, and I think he took it personally up there in Spokane, but they had their chance. We were the lower seed. They were the higher seed at the WCC tournament, right? So they couldn't get it done, and I just remember that game being a really good game for the Cougars.
Rudy Vavers went off in that game from beyond the arc. Loyola Marymount, their top two scorers are two guys who can knock down threes, and they will take a lot of them. Rodney Brown Jr. along with MJ Amy, both averaging 15 points per game. They're both in the top 30 in the nation in three-point attempts. One thing to note, though, and where we're keeping our eyes peeled, Rodney Brown Jr., who averages 15 points per game, did not play in their last matchup against Pacific. That was back on Tuesday night. He was in uniform, and from watching the TV broadcast back, that it sounded like most likely an ankle injury that kept him from playing, but he was in uniform, didn't play. We will see if he goes tonight or not. They still were able to get the victory over Pacific, but that would be a big loss if he is not available. For this LMU squad, what they're good at, field goal percentage defense, first in the WCC, 34th in the nation, opponents shooting just 39%. Beyond just those top two guys, and Amy and Brown, they've got a couple other very talented scorers. Jan Vide, second year with LMU, has taken a step forward this year, averaging 12 points per game. And Jalen Shelley moved across town from USC to LMU and is averaging 12 points and 6 rebounds per game in his first season with the Lions. One other thing, Eggs. This is their third true road game of the season. This is their 16th game. They've only played road games at UC Santa Barbara and UTEP. It's their first true road game since November 17th. We've mentioned the stat of Washington State has traveled over 16,500 miles this year. So they've had different roads, one harder than the other, but here they are in this matchup tonight.
Yeah, and that's two foods for thought there. Some coaches will think like Coach Riley does, that you toughen your team up by going on the road and playing tougher opponents, and some coaches like to play at home and kind of pad their home schedule and create confidence by winning ball games. So yeah, we got two different thinking philosophies going on here, but I like the way Coach Riley does it. I know it's hard for you and me also to get on the plane and travel those distances also, but I like the thought of playing that way instead of like padding your stats.
Well, and here we are. It is the second week of conference play. Washington State hosting LMU. We'll take another break here on our pregame coverage. When we come back, we'll turn things over to Austin Samuels, who will have a scoreboard update. We'll also have our pregame interview with the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley, and the starting lineups and tip-off. Washington State and LMU right around the corner. This is Washington State basketball on the Cougars Sports Network.
Your audio home for all things Cougar athletics is the Washington State Cougar Podcast Channel. Just search for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to follow and subscribe to the official podcast home of the Cougs. Hear our original WSU Athletics podcast, plus replays from the Cougar Sports Network, including football pregame and postgame show coverage, full football game broadcast, and coaches shows. Find it all by searching for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to start listening today. Time Time now to check scores from across college basketball. Brought to you by Coors Light. Choose chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly.
We welcome you back to the Coors Light Cougar Courtside Show. Washington State and Loyola Marymount's about to square off here in Beasley Coliseum in Pullman. Austin Samuels with you with our first scoreboard update of the night. First, the Washington State women have their first road test in WCC play tonight. They're taking on the Portland Pilots. That game just got going at 6 o'clock. An early lead for Portland, 8-7 over the Washington State women, 4:49 to play in that first quarter. It is a busy slate of games across the WCC once again. And Gonzaga and Seattle U, the game in action right now. 7th-ranked Gonzaga looking for their 8th straight win. They're at home tonight, leading at 9-8 early, 15 minutes to play in the first half against Seattle U, who the Cougs fell to back on Tuesday. San Diego and San Francisco will match up tonight in the Bay. Both teams coming off of losses on Tuesday, looking to bounce back. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. Pacific time there. St. Mary's has won 4 straight, while Portland has lost 4 straight. Those two teams will collide tonight in Moraga. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Santa Clara and Pepperdine will clash tonight. The Broncos 2-0 start in league play. Meanwhile, the Pepperdine Waves are 0-2. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. Pacific time. The Cougs will play Oregon State coming up on Sunday, their final matchup of the year in Spokane. The Beavs are on the road tonight taking on Pacific. That game gets going at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Washington State and Loyola Marymount here from Beasley Coliseum coming your way in the next 15 to 20 minutes. When we come back, Chris King will sit down with the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley, talk about the cold, hard facts for this matchup with LMU. You're listening to Washington State basketball on the Cougar Sports Network.
Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories is a high-tech global company headquartered in Pullman, Washington, with a mission of making electric power safer, more reliable, and more economical. At SEL, employees enjoy working in a fast-paced, innovative environment while enjoying the many benefits of living on the Palouse. SEL is seeking engineers for paid internships and full-time positions. Apply to join the growing SEL team today at selinc.com/careers.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Time to learn about the cold, hard facts for today's game with head coach David Riley. Presented by Coors Light. Choose chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly. Now, with David Riley, here's Chris King.
Cougs getting ready to take on LMU. It's the home conference opener, and here with David Riley. How has it been getting back from the Seattle U game, that first conference road trip of the season, and getting ready for this one tonight? Not only the first game of 2026, but the first WCC game here at Beasley.
Yeah, we had a couple good days. Great film session where I think we learned a lot, and good practice yesterday. Put in a few wrinkles offensively to try to free our guys up a little more and try to build on the defensive effort we had for Seattle.
Late in the first half against Seattle U, we saw Tomas Throsserson exit the game injured, and he did not come back. How are things for him coming into tonight?
Yeah, he'll be out tonight. We're still gathering information. We should know a little bit more by, hopefully tomorrow.
with that, who are you going to lean on more with Tomas not being available?
By committee, I think we're going to mix up the starting lineup tonight and go a little bigger, but at the same time, we're going to get a lot of guys more opportunity, and Thomas is a lot for us. It's not going to be one guy that just takes over his spot.
Second straight game against a pretty stingy defense, LMU. They're first in the WCC in field goal percentage defense. What makes it tough to shoot at a high percentage against this team?
They do a really good job of their guards and perimeter players really fan out and guard the three-point line very well. And then they have their big, especially Rick Sanza, down there roaming the charge circle. And so they are going to take away threes, and they're going to take away shots at the rim. And they're one of the best teams in the country at, like, 2-point distance field goals. Like, teams shoot the least amount of, or very few short twos against them. Like, very few dunks and layups. I got to get better at describing. It's a new stat they have on KenPom that they just put on a couple days ago. But it's really interesting how they guard. They do a great job of forcing you into mid-range shots.
For LMU offensively, we'll see if Rodney Brown Jr. plays tonight. That's a big piece for them. He did not play in their last game. But let's say he does. Him and MJ Amy, they're not just LMU's top scorers. They're extremely dangerous from beyond the arc. The two ranked first and second in the WCC in three-point percentage, 3-point made per game. What's going to take to keep those guys from going off?
We got to do a great job in closing out to those guys. They can really get it up. They both have made over 43s this year, which is a really impressive number at this point in the season. And then kind of the engine that makes them go is Jan Vide, top 20 in the country in assist percentage, and does a great job coming off ball screens, getting to the paint, and freeing those guys up.
What are the other top points of emphasis that we haven't talked about that you've really been hammering home with the team that will take you to get a win here tonight over LMU?
Got to move the ball. We've been talking about it all year. We haven't done a good job of sharing the ball. We do it in practice, and for whatever reason, we're not able to find those extra passes in games, and that's something we really got to take another step in and share the ball against these guys.
Appreciate the time as always, and best of luck tonight.
Go Cougs.
Coug fans, don't miss a single play this season while camping on the Oregon coast, in the Sonoran Desert, or in the wilderness of Yellowstone in an RV from Valley RV Supercenter. Valley RVs can come with all the technologies you'll need so you never miss a down, wherever you are. Better yet, why not work on your pregame skills at an away game or in the Palouse, where tailgating was perfected. We're a proud Coug supporter. Come see us in Kent or at ValleyRVSupercenter.com, where journeys begin.
Cougs, to lead in the new Pac-12, we have to attack this together. Name, image, and likeness, NIL, is essential. It's how our programs recruit, retain, and elevate our student-athletes who don the crimson and gray. And now, you can directly support WSU NIL through our Cougar Athletic Fund. A tax-deductible gift to our Sport Excellence Funds powers WSU's NIL efforts, all in one place. Visit WSUCougars.com and select NIL in the drop-down menu to learn more. Go Cougs!
Back at Beasley Coliseum, Chris King along with Craig Elo, our engineer Jerry Kylo, back in our Cougar Sports Network studio, Zane Saggio. It is the home conference opener, Washington State clashing with Loyola Marymount. And reacting to what we just heard there from David Riley, Eggs, Tomas Throsterson injured Tuesday against Seattle U, was late in the first half, did not play in the second half. Tomas was first team, or I should say WCC all-freshman team last year, one of those top returners for the Cougs. This year averaging 9 points, 4 rebounds per game. But David Riley told us he's out, still gathering information, so kind of to be determined how long he won't be available. But he won't be playing tonight. Eggs, what do you think it's going to take for the Cougs to adapt with life without Tomas?
Well, I think if Coach Riley hit the nail on the head, even though they do it in practice, they're not getting it, parlaying it over to the game situations, and that's less dribbling. Take 2 hard dribbles. If your man's there, don't take more than that. Just kick the ball and get to the open guy, because the dribbling is allowing the defenses to catch up with us on any ball screens, and they just don't really guard the offside. And I think we try to throw the skip passes a lot from out of the post. We got to make the simple pass out to the corner, and that includes getting in the guy's vision. So I think Reed Favors is one guy that should just always be on the floor when you're out there with him, is hunting for him to catch and shoot, because he sees one go in early, he'll keep shooting. If he doesn't see it go in early, he'll get clam up and go away and not be a threat.
Well, Ree went off from beyond the arc the last time these two teams met up. It was in the WCC tournament when WSU ended the season for LMU. And one other thing I think it's worth mentioning, Eggs, is the fact that there's a familiar face on the bench for Loyola Marymount. Second-year Lorenzo Romar has been part of the staff. Of course, Coug fans know that name oh so well from his time as the head coach of the University of Washington, then went on to become the head coach of Pepperdine. Obviously had time in his career as a head coach prior to going to UW, but you had a chance to talk to him before the game. Yep. The two of you go back a long ways.
Yeah, he's about 4 or 5 years older than me, but I did get a chance to play against him in the league. He was kind of on his way out. I was on my way in. And then, obviously, all those great years that he had on the UW bench and the teams that he had and put out there for the Seattle folks to get to know. He's just a superhuman being. I mean, he's a guy that really invests in these young men and instills some of the things that his characteristics into them and making them fine human beings when they leave the schools.
Well, for Stan Johnson, he's accumulated a staff that has a lot of experience. Johnson, in his 6 years, the head coach for Loyola Marymount, what most notable for him in his time at LMU, it was 3 years ago, LMU had wins over Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and BYU. That's a heck of a season in the WCC if you can notch wins over those three programs. He was the associate head coach at Marquette prior to becoming the head coach at LMU. But between Lorenzo Romar, Lewis Wilson, and Mark Phelps, those three assistant coaches between the D1 and D2 levels have over 85 years of head coaching college basketball experience. So interesting to see that. And for them, this LMU squad, they were picked right behind WSU in the preseason poll for the WCC. They were picked 7th. WSU was picked 6th. 8 returners for this team. And we've touched on this, but the fact that they have not played a whole lot on the road. This is their 16th game of the season. Pretty crazy to be at this point of the year, and this is your third true road game. Now, they went to Florida for an MTE, so that's a neutral site experience, and they went 1-1 in that. Away this year, they are 2-0, but if you're LMU and one of your road games is UC Santa Barbara, this feels like you're traveling halfway across the world to come to Pullman from LA. This is nothing for WSU to travel. This is the most they've done all year.
Yeah, and then I was looking right here at their stat in Quad 4. 6-1, and that goes back to the philosophy: do you build the confidence in the wins against the weaker opponents and stay close to home? And we'll see, because we're battle-tested on the road, and getting to Pullman is never an easy task, especially during the winter months.
Cougs have logged over 16,500 miles this year. They've played the 44th toughest schedule in the country, according to the NCAA net rankings. Let's see how that translates here tonight. The Cougs will be shorthanded without Tomas Throsterson taking on this LMU squad. Both teams 1-1 in conference game. A really intriguing matchup to begin 2026. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, it's time for the starting lineups and tip-off here from Beasley Coliseum. You're listening to Washington State Basketball on the Cougar Sports Network.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Look, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But if you're a WSU fan and you haven't switched your phone service to Cougs Mobile, you're passing up a slam dunk. Here's the deal. You get exclusive game day perks, and Cougs Mobile contributes to WSU athletics every time you pay your monthly bill. No contracts, no hidden fees, no reason to wait. Switch now to the only phone plan built for Coug fans and on the T-Mobile 5G network. Visit CougsMobile.com.
This is Carrie Bice, co-owner of Allegra Image 360 on Main Street in Moscow, the one-stop shop for all your printing, signage, and marketing needs. Whether your business needs special signage for Christmas shopping or you need help creating a truly fridge-worthy greeting card, your friends at Allegra are here to help during the hectic holiday season. Stop by our Moscow office and see how our team at Allegra can help deck your halls.
This is Washington State basketball on the Cougar Sports Network.
Philip dish, Tomas to the basket, left-handed butter, he's got it. Cougs red hot out of the game.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Coors Light. Choose chill, proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly. It's game time on the Cougar Sports Network. Now, alongside WSU Athletic Hall of Famer and 14-year NBA veteran Craig Elo, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
A major opportunity for Washington State to begin 2026 with a victory. It is the conference home opener for the Cougs. Loyola Marymount, the opponent. The lights turned down as the hype video playing in front of the fans here at Beasley. Students still on break, so it would be great to, we not only have the home conference opener eggs, but we'll have that first home game when the students are back here. But we'll take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game for the Cougs. It was David Riley who told us in our pregame conversation they are going to go bigger. The starting five for Washington State in the backcourt, Jerome Morton and Ace Glass. And then we see that size. It is Emmanuel Ugbo, Emily Yalaho, and N.D. Okafor. So Ugbo into the starting lineup. We saw him go off for 20, a career high against Eastern Washington. He's been quiet since, only 9 total points in those 3 games since having that big performance against Eastern Washington. So that's the starting five for Washington State. For Loyola Marymount in the backcourt for LMU, well, this answers our question for sure. Rodney Brown Jr. is in the starting lineup. He's averaging 15 points per game. He missed their last game even though he was in uniform. But Rodney Brown Jr. back playing as MJ Amy Jr. will also join him in the backcourt. Those two guys are in the top 30 in the nation in three-point attempts. Jean Vide, someone that David Riley heaped praise on, a returner for LMU in the starting lineup, along with Roskis Yotsus. He is a 6'10" senior forward. And then Jalen Shelley, the transfer from USC. That is Stan Johnson's starting five for Loyola Marymount.
And I like the fact Morton has played better, and I would say since he's been coming off the bench, but with the two guards that are guys that shoot the perimeter ball for the Lions, he's one of our better defenders. So, yeah, he's going to have to take over some of the ball handling duties too. Ace Glass, more of a shooter and scorer for us than Jerome is. So Jerome can do a lot by setting Ace up and putting him in good situations to score the ball.
And this isn't how you draw it up without Tomas Throsserson being available, but it's an opportunity for these other guys. We've seen Jerome Morton be a little hot and cold at times this year in his first season with Washington State, the transfer from Morehead State. And we'll have in this bigger lineup out there, Emily Yalaho, Emmanuel Ugbo, and N.D. Okafor pay dividends for Washington State as the Cougs get in their last-minute instruction before heading out from the bench over to midcourt for tip-off.
And these rim protectors that we have out there, Yalaho, not a big shot blocker, and Ugbo not either, but big bodies take up a lot of space down there when they try to get closer to the rim. And like I said, I'd rather see ND change situations than jump at everything and try to block everything. I think he would be more beneficial for us to have him just take up space like the other two.
Our officials for tonight's game, Mark Fulton, Alexander Thompson, and Toby Doolittle. Andy Okafor and Roskas Yotsus ready for the opening tip. It's up in the air. It is ripped away by Jalen Shelley. LMU with the ball. We're off and going. LMU in their blue uniforms. They call it LMU blue, kind of a powder blue. Blue shorts, blue tops, LMU, and red block lettering on the front. The numbers in red with the white outline. Cougs white uniforms, white shorts, white tops. Cougars crimson letters on the front and the crimson unders. Vide to the basket, tries the floater, high teardrop, and it's over the outstretched arms of Andy Okafor. Jan Vide makes the shot, gives LMU the early 2-0 lead. And almost a carry by Ace Glass, and it will be, as Stan Johnson right in the ear of the officiating crew. Maybe a beat late on the whistle, but it was the right call. Early turnover for the Cougs. That's something Washington State has really struggled with this year. Coming into tonight's game, Cougs 343rd in the nation. That puts them bottom 20 when it comes to turnover margin.
And Ace is one of those guys that does turnovers quite a bit, self-inflicted ones like the one we just saw.
2-0 Washington State trails. Home conference opener for the Cougs, clashing with LMU. Both teams 1-1 in conference play. Here's MJ Amy Jr., dangerous from beyond the arc, gets it over to Vide, crossover move into the paint, 5 on the shot clock, step back from the WCC logo, perfect touch from Vide, makes the second straight bucket. So Vide all alone giving LMU the early 4-0 lead. Physical defense from LMU, and picking the pocket of Ace Glass, it's MJ Aney. That's a redshirt senior getting the steal from a true freshman. Cougs looking to settle down here again without Tomas Throsterson injured for this game. Shelley into the paint, stutter step picked up by Okafor, clean block, and ND pulls it down. Cougs with the ball looking to cut into the 4-0 early deficit. Morton, last second, heaves it over to Yalaho. Ball stripped away from behind by Amy, and it will remain Washington State's possession.
And again, when the Cougs do get some penetration, we got to get better spacing out there, because that allowed the two defenders to go to Yalaho when Morton threw him the ball.
Morton inbounds pass to Okafor, immediately double team, clears it out to Glass, bounce pass corner, Yalaho 3, off the back of the iron, no good. Ball goes off of Ace Glass's face, and it will be ricocheted off of his, I think it got about a cheek, and out of bounds. It will be LMU ball. Minute and 33 seconds, should say 43 seconds into the contest. Washington State trails LMU 4-0. Entry pass to Vide, who has all 4 points on the Pac-12 Shield logos, with the Pac-12 logo and the WCC logo on the court here at Beasley Coliseum. Clears it out, ball moved around the perimeter. Rodney Brown Jr. missed the last game, pokes Morton in the face, and that will be a foul on Rodney Brown Jr. Averages 15 points per game, but did not play in that last game against Pacific. Called for the offensive foul. And the Cougs looking for the first point of the game, down 4-0, a little over 2 minutes into the action.
And Jerome did a nice job of jumping to that strong hand on Brown and taking that away, and that's why when he changed the directions of Brown, he caught him with the chicken wing going further out.
That's a good way to describe it. Morton, chicken wing right in the face. Cougs get it across the timeline. Okafor works his way down low. Baby hook from the big fella, and the Cougs in the scoreless stretch. Okafor with the bucket. Washington State pulls within 2. Catch and shoot 3, and it is nothing but net. Jalen Shelley, not one of those top targets from beyond the arc. Shelley makes just his 16th of the year, but the triple is good, and the Cougs find themselves down by 5. 7-2 LMU at the edge. 17 minutes, 20 seconds and ticking to play here in the first half in Pullman. Glass begins to drive. Glass, that field goal percentage has been low the last couple of games. Okafor to the basket, high off the window, too strong. Ball pops out. Rebound for Amy for LMU. Shelley stands out on the court. It's those powder blue uniforms for LMU, but he's got highlighter orange shoes. Shelley will take another 3. This from the right wing. He buries it. 10-2. Cougs trail. Shelley through 15 games had made just 15 threes. He's got 2 in the first 3 minutes here today.
And Ugbo is just playing off of him because he's kind of been in the help side defensive mode.
Yalaho picks up his dribble, right block over to Morton from the left elbow, step back 2, no good. Flying in and get the rebound is Jalen Shelley. He's a menace on the glass, and he's been hitting them from downtown. Cougs find themselves down by 8 early. Vide open, left wing 3, shots keep falling for LMU. Timeout, David Riley, and the frustration is palpable from the Cougar bench. 13-2 LMU leads, 16:29 to play in the first half.
Yeah, their shots have all come out of either fast break opportunities, stepping into threes, and then Vidi started them off great with the 2 shots in the paint.
A 9-0 run for LMU. We'll take a timeout. Cougs trail 13-2. You're listening to Washington State basketball on the Cougars Sports Network.
As proud Cougs, we always find our way back home. At McVeigh Brothers, we want to help all Cougs improve the value of your home. Hello, I'm Mike McVeigh from McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows, a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. The team of professionals at McVeigh Brothers take great pride in helping our customers remodel their homes with new entry doors, rain gutters, siding, roofing, and windows. At McVeigh Brothers, we're working for you.
Download the WSU Cougars mobile app today, which features the latest news. Plus, it's your way to stream all of our Cougar Sports Network radio broadcasts. Listen to Cougar football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, baseball game broadcast, plus coaches shows, all for free with WSU Cougars Game Day app. Take our broadcast with you wherever you go. Available now by searching WSU Cougars Game Day in the Apple App Store or Google Play.
With the WSU debit card from Giza, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan by helping them grow their money. So does the card support the Coug fan or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Giza.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards program. To join the program, visit WSUCougars.com/Toyota Rewards. Hot three-point shooting has led to a scorching start for Loyola Marymount. Cougs trail 13-2 to LMU. 16:29 to go in the first half. Eggs, what's it going to take to turn this slow start around for Washington State?
Well, defensively, we got to cover for each other, and that Vidi's first 2 shots in the paint.
And pressure in the backcourt nearly leads to a steal. Yalaho and Morton trying to play keep away from MJ Amy Jr., who's been so active in this game. Amy swats the ball out of bounds. Cougs will still have the full length of the court to go, but will at least keep the possession. Without Tomas Throsserson, here's a heave into the backcourt, or the front court, I should say, and it's too far. Reeve Avers steps out of bounds, and the Cougs still trying to find their footing. Since Tomas Throsserson was hurt, and maybe this is too simple to put it, Eggs, in that game against Seattle U, it's been tough sledding for Washington State.
It really has. The turnovers can just plague you left and right, and already, LMU shooting a great percentage. 3 of 3 from beyond the arc and 5 of 6 overall.
Jan Vide brings it across midcourt. He's the top scorer in this game. He's got 7 points. Cougs find themselves down by 11 early. Here's an alley-oop lob, and it's denied by Andy Okafor. Rick Isanza coming into the game, 7'1". He was the intended target. Cougs taking it away. Washington State looking to work it inside. David Riley told us before this contest, LMU, one of the best teams in the country at denying short twos. Here's a mid-range jumper from Reeve Avers. That misses off to the side of the iron. Rebound LMU. Cougs are 1 of 5 shooting. And here's Vide, kick out. Shelley open for 3. That one finally misses. Isanza tries to stretch back and get a putback. It's no good. Cougs get the ball. Numbers advantage. Let's see if they can take advantage. Favors not enough room for the quick strike 3. Down by 11. Washington State looking for some rhythm. 4.5 minutes into this game. Yalaho, spin move. Up on Brown. Nope, out to Favors. On skates, keeps his balance. Over to Morton. Morton into the paint. 10 on the shot clock. Short bounce pass to Yalaho. 3 in the key of the call. Turnover number 4 for Washington State. It's been a scoring drought of over 2 minutes, and over that span, a 9-0 run for LMU.
And of those turnovers, these are all self-inflicted. They're unforced. And the spacing on the offensive end is just too conglomerated, and guys don't have any room to work and operate.
David Riley letting the officiating crew know that he's adamant that Yalaho had been fully out of the key and then went back in. Adria Rodriguez steps out on the court, seeing his first action. Cougs go a little smaller as Andy Okafor goes to the bench.
Travel.
And there will be a travel on Loyola Marymount. So turnover here, at least between the two teams.
And you're seeing Brown, since he didn't play in the last game, and also the injury to the ankle, he's a little rusty right now, and he's going to come out because he's got all the turnovers.
Cougs nearly 5 minutes into this game, so far only producing 2 points, down to LMU 13-2. Moore looking to go coast to coast, tries to unload on a dunk and leaves it short. Rebound LMU.
I played with a guy, Phil Hubbard, that couldn't jump, but he made a lot of layups, and he was like, a layup is just as much as a dunk shot.
Cougs could have used the bucket there. Down low to Azanza at 7'1". He's fouled before the shot attempt. Washington State here, Eggs. I'm trying to think back. Have we seen a stretch this year of over 5 minutes of action where the Cougs have only produced 2 points?
No, I meant we've had our slumps during ball games, but when you're in conference and this deep into your schedule already, you should be able to at least get more looks at the rim than what the Cougs have.
It is the conference home opener. Inbounds pass goes to Vide, who stepped on the sideline in front of the Cougar bench. So at least one positive, if we're looking for the glass half full perspective, is that LMU's struggling with turnovers right along with Washington State.
And that's what I said. Defensively, you can play hard and create problems for the other team.
Yalalo left wing three, no good. Cougs have been ice cold from beyond the arc as of late, and that stretches back to the Seattle U game. The basket, Shelley attacks, goes with the left-handed runner. It's good. 15-2, Washington State down as LMU continues their hot start, and the Cougs looking for answers offensively. Left wing, Favors, catch and shoot three. He's got it. Oh, Washington State needed that. A Favors triple, and the Cougs cut it down to a 10-point game here, nearly 6 minutes into the contest.
And I got to think every time Reeves touches the ball, he's got to look to shoot the basketball.
Getting it under the hoop, it's Aaron McBride. Hop step and an easy lay-in for McBride, the returner for LMU. Quick bucket as he comes off the bench. And the WSU deficit now to 12. LMU 17, Washington State 5. Rodriguez pestered near the baseline. Clears it out close to midcourt to Favors. Right wing over to Jerome Morton. Morton puts it on the hardwood, shakes McBride. Contested pass down low to Ugbo, guarded by the 7'1" Izanza. Will take a mid-range jumper, and he's got it. Emmanuel Ugbo with the perfect touch. And the Cougs down by 10, 17-7.
And that was a good offensive move. He got the jab step and got Sago off his feet.
Vide off the mark with his runner. Here comes Washington State after grabbing the rebound. Rodriguez, stutter step over to Morton. He takes a three, no good. He statistically has been struggling from beyond the arc. Cougs offensive rebound straight away three. Ugbo has that one miss off the side of the iron to the left. And coming away with the defensive board is Loyola Marymount. Jalen Shelley got the white Adidas headband on. Now to Vide, who throws it into the stands. Last touch by Washington State. Simon Hildebrand and Ace Glass back out in the contest. Emmanuel Ugbo and Jerome Morton to the bench. So we saw Glass early, but he got the pretty quick hook, and we haven't seen him since.
Yeah, I meant when the young freshman turns the ball over, his first 2 times he touches the ball, sometimes you got to set him down and make him watch the game a little bit, and hopefully he'll settle into his routine.
He is back in the game offensively for Ace Glass. Entry pass to Yotsus. Yotsus starts to post up on Yalaho. Left-handed hook shot. He banks it in. Didn't look pretty coming off the hand, but he had enough muscle on it to power it home. 19-7, Cougs trail. Glass has been struggling with his shot as of late for Washington State. 4 of 21 shooting the last 2 games. Yalaho posting up on McBride. Nothing there. Flip pass back over into the hands of Rodriguez. 12 on the shot clock. Near the far corner. Dangerous pass, and it's taken away. Rodriguez, you just can't make that pass. Another turnover for Washington State. A.J. Thomas into the corner. Jael Martin seeing his first action. Here's a spin move. It's Thomas over to Amy. Dangerous three-point shooter. Misses his attempt. Boxing out Simon Hildebrand.
And nice job by Simon doing that. Oh, my gosh.
Here's a transition three from Favors. That has been the offense in this game for Washington State. Has been Reeve from deep. He delivers on another. And the Cougs, after trailing by as many as 13, have a single-digit deficit. 19-10, Loyola Marymount up. 11:40 and counting to play first half. Mid-range jumper from the baseline. Yotsus leaves it short. Cougs get the rebound. A little momentum here after a chilly beginning of this game for Washington State. Favors. Deep three, just short. Rebound, Loyola Marymount's A.J. Thomas.
But at least we got a shot at the rim, right?
Up and under, wild lay-in attempt by A.J. Thomas. Rebound, Washington State. Cougs looking to push it. A frenzied pace all of a sudden. Rodriguez might have pushed off. No whistle from the left side. Goes up with the right hand. And that shot is off the mark. No good. Rebound, Loyola Marymount. Now things slow down a little bit.
But again, Andre, he shot the ball, and we got a shot at the rim instead of turning the ball over.
Roskas Jotsus from Lithuania, 6'10", onto his third school in 3 years. Feeds it to A.J. Thomas in the lane, being guarded by Vavers, fishing for a foul. Count the bucket. Thomas makes it. It's now 21-10, and after the media timeout, it is going to be a chance to complete the three-point play for the true freshman out of Lancaster, California, for Loyola Marymount. Cougs trying to ride the wave in what has been a bumpy start to this game. 10:46 to play first half in Pullman. Washington State trails Loyola Marymount 21-10. This is Washington State basketball on the Cougar Sports Network.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This winter, you don't need to know how to slalom, land a triple axel, or pull off a McTwist 1260, whatever that is, to get to the podium. The only physical feat required is getting off the couch for Northern Quest's $60,000 podium payout. Play daily with your Camus Rewards card to enter. Plus, earn 4 times entries every Tuesday, and you could take home $25,000 on January 29th with absolutely no cardio. The podium payout, only at Northern Quest.
Earn more rewards more often with Atmos Rewards by Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines. It's the #1 airline rewards program according to U.S. News and World Report, and your invitation to explore over 1,000 plus global destinations. 10:46 to play first half here at Beasley Coliseum. It is the home conference opener for Washington State, and the Cougs try to put in the rearview mirror what was a difficult start. Washington State started this game down 15-2. Currently trail Loyola Marymount 21-10 as A.J. Thomas at the line to try to complete a three-point play. Eggs, okay. Looking forward, what has you encouraged about the Cougs' ability to put a dent in this deficit?
That we were shooting the ball before we're actually turning it over.
Loyola Marymount, a rough free throw shooting team, misses the shot, but an offensive rebound by MJ Amy, and then he is fouled right after. So Loyola Marymount is last in the conference in free throw percentage, and yet the foul going to earn them another opportunity. Out of the timeout, Cougs with Parker Garrett's ace glass, Reavers, Simon Hildebrand, and N.D. Okafor. The 5 Cougs out on the hardwood, 21-10. The numbers not particularly kind to Washington State right now. Loyola Marymount shooting 56%, Cougs shooting 29%. Washington State has turned it over 5 times, on pace to turn it over 20 in this game. Lions inbound it cleanly, out for a straightaway look from McBride, rattles around, and the three-pointer falls. 24-10. The threes have been going for LMU in this game. They're 4 for 6 from downtown. Reavers, who's had a hot hand, will take a deep three, and he answers back. Well, that's been the offense for the Cougs. Favors 9 of Washington State's 13 points. It's now 24-13. Washington State down to LMU by 11.
And that time, Ace, instead of trying to dribble the ball over to Reeves, he threw it through ND, and ND found Reeves.
Too much on the left-handed runner from Jalen Shelley. Rebound, Simon Hildebrand. Hildebrand's been struggling with foul trouble when he's been out on the court. Let's see if he can avoid picking up the whistles early and often. Garrett's entry pass to Okafor. He was fouled. Really an armbar kind of wrapped around him was Aaron McBride, and that will be a whistle against Loyola Marymount. Going to be team foul only number 2 on the Lions. So we're a little over halfway through the first half. Not a ton of fouls called on either team so far. Garrett's inbounds pass to Andy Okafor. Clears it out to Ace Glass. Let's see if we can see that offensive punch from the talented freshman. He's tied for the 16th leading freshman scorer in the nation. Down low to Okafor, and he gets fouled. Rick Azanza. We thought for a moment it was Rick Azanza. Instead, it is MJ Amy Jr. Or Shelley will be the guilty party. Either way, it's Okafor to the line for 2 shots.
And so far, the Cougs, if they've learned anything on out of bounds underneath, LMU is trapping the first ball. So we got to take advantage of that when we get the opportunity, knowing that the trap is there and moving the ball to the other side.
Cougs really struggled free throw shooting in the second half of that last game Tuesday against Seattle U. Okafor makes the first, and the second is good as well. That's a big positive for Washington State. Andy gets the line and he delivers. At 6'9", he's a 57% free throw shooter, but he makes the most of his trip. Cougs down by single digits, trailed early by 13, 9:30 to play. 9-point deficit, left wing 3. Shelley has it roll out, flying in. It's Andy Okafor, fresh off of his first career double-double. Gets another board here tonight. Favors, catch and shoot. Is it a 3 or 2? Either way, the shot no good. Rebound by LMU. Heave across midcourt. Deflected, but grabbing it. Shelley muscles way to the basket. There'll be a blocking foul called on Simon Hildebrand. I don't know about that. Shelley pushed the forearm forward.
The effort by Simon was definitely feet set and back there. I thought he had the defensive position.
And that's going to lead to 2 shots for Jalen Shelley. Shelley, no stranger at getting to the line. He's 5th in the West Coast Conference in free throw attempts. Loyola Marymount leads Washington State 24-15, 9:16 to play first half. The lefty's first is no good. Again, for those just joining us, Tomas Thrasterson, who averages 9 points, 4 rebounds per game, was on the WCC All-Freshman team last season for the Cougs. Out for this game, got injured late in the first half Tuesday against Seattle U. Next foul shot, no good either. Okafor with the board for the Cougs.
So the lines are letting us hang around, and
And Garrett's just dribbles the ball off his foot. This is for Washington State, that unforced turnover. The Cougs in non-steal turnovers this year, ranking 342nd in the nation in that category. Overall, that's turnover number 6. And you just try to build that momentum, and those unforced turnovers kill you.
Yeah, man, we get, they could have had a fast break, 2 points. Instead, he misses both free throws, and now we get a chance to cut the lead, and we dribble off our foot.
Washington State down by 9. LMU works around the perimeter. Amy begins to drive on Hildebrand. Much taller Hildebrand staying right there with him, toe for toe. Near midcourt, he finds Rodney Brown Jr. Thought about the step back 3, won't pull the trigger. Feeds instead to Shelley. He will launch a step back 2, and a late whistle called with 1 on the shot clock. This foul will go against Ace Glass.
And these are the things that we got to clean up going into 2026. I mean, we bail teams out so many times on bad shots and put them on the free throw line when all Ace had to do was just go straight up and not lean into him.
Here's the first foul shot from Shelley. He makes it as it takes a unfriendly Cougar roll and a friendly LMU roll off the front of the iron, dropping through the cylinder. To the bench for Washington State goes Simon Hildebrand and Ace Glass, Jerome Morton, Emmanuel Ugbo back in, Reeve Avers, Parker Garrett, and Andy Okafor remains. So this is a shorthanded WSU squad. Again, Case Wynot has been out for the Cougs. You have to go all the way back to the Chaminade games. Only played in 5 games this year. Has been injured. Next foul shot, no good. Cougs get it. Outlet pass over to Avers. Corner 3. Takes it. Oh, makes another. Reeve Avers, 4 for 6 from downtown. And Stan Johnson wants a timeout. Eggs, as tough as this start has been, it's now just a 7-point game.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's got the cloak of invisibility on, but you got to find Reeve Avers. I mean, he's the only thing that the Cougars have on the offensive end. So I would be wherever he's at. I got a defender right there on him.
Last season, when the Cougs ended LMU's year, beating them in the WCC tournament, Reeve Avers had a then career-high 17 points. He's got 12 for Washington State, and there's 8:30 to play in the first half. We're going to take a timeout. More after this. Cougs down to LMU, 25-18. You're listening to Washington State basketball on the Cougars Sports Network.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do lists one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit AdamsTractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Coug pride.
Boost Collaborative is a proud sponsor of Cougar Athletics and is a proud supporter of people with disabilities on the Palouse. For over 50 years, Boost Collaborative has been there to help families and their toddlers meet developmental milestones. For youth and adults with disabilities, Boost provides job placement, on-the-job training, and follow-along support. Now you can play a part in Boost's success through your donations and purchases at Palouse Treasures Thrift Store in Pullman. Boost Collaborative, empowering people with disabilities on the Palouse. Go Cougar!
Just a short drive from the Wazoo campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with a new addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Bar and Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonByHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
WSU fans want to support the team just by paying your phone bill? Switch to Cougs Mobile today at CougsMobile.com on the T-Mobile 5G network. 8:30 to play first half here at Beasley Coliseum. It is the conference home opener for Washington State. Cougs trail Loyola Marymount 25-18. We're approaching the top of the hour. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Red on 770 KTTH Seattle, 97.3 KIRO FM, HD3 Tacoma Seattle, 94.5 K233 DT Eastlake, 33 BU Seattle.
Chris King next to Craig Elo courtside. Eggs, despite being down 15-2 early, the Cougs very much within striking distance.
Yeah, LMU was started the game shooting the ball lights out, but our defense has, if you look out there, they're all the same size, so we could switch everything. And I think that would play into our hands.
LMU with the ball coming out of the timeout taken by the 6-year coach of the Lions, Stan Johnson. Jan Vide so good as a distributor for LMU. Takes a runner. It is no good. Rebound. Andy Okafor and Roskas Yotsus tangled up with him. It will be a foul on Yotsus. That whistle going against LMU, going to be team foul number 4 on the Lions. So the Cougs with some momentum here. Again, it was not a pretty start to any way, shape, or form. Down 15-2, the Cougs had just 2 points until they made a three-pointer with 14 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the half. The bulk of the offense has come from Reeve Avers and his sharp shooting. He has made 4 three-pointers for Washington State. Morton, entry pass to Okafor. Peeking, now he puts it on the hardwood. A handoff to Morton, right wing. Jerome goes baseline, kick out pass. It's Garrett's open for 3. Takes it and makes it. Well, the Cougs, they find their counterpunch. And all of a sudden, what was a 13-point deficit, it's just a 4-point game.
And that time, Morton did the right thing. When he went baseline, he didn't pick his dribble up until he found Parker, who got into his vision.
Garrett seeing more action with Tomas Throsserson out hurt for this game. David Riley told us in our pregame interview, still gathering info, but out for today. Contested 3, no good from Rodney Brown Jr. Rebound for Washington State. Andy Okafor comes down with it. He'll bring it across midcourt. The 6'9" big man for the Cougs. Orton Avers, a 3 to pull within 1. Off to the right, ball punched out of bounds. Last touched by Washington State. It will be LMU ball. 7:05 to go in the first half. It has been an 11-1 run for Washington State. They've done it over the last 3 minutes and 18 seconds, and there have been no field goals for LMU the last 3 minutes and 34 seconds.
And normally you want ND to give that ball up after he gets the rebound, but he's proved to be a better ball handler than some of our guards out there.
Despite the bumpy start, momentum right now with Washington State. Can the defense continue to make that happen? Emily Yalaho checks in the game. Emmanuel Ugbo, Jerome Morton, Parker Garrett, Andy Okafor. Here's a 3, no good. Offensive rebound, though, for LMU after the Shelley miss. Clear it out. Here are the whiskers of Butch on the Cougar head logo close to midcourt here at Beasley. And there will be an illegal screen on Roskas Yotsus. Washington State ball.
And again, that is the dribbler's fault right there. I mean, if Beatty just sets Morton up for the big fellow to get his feet set on the screen. He doesn't get an offensive foul, but the dribbler left way too early.
Here's a question for you, Eggs. What's it going to take to have sustainable offense? Right now, the Cougs have made 7 shots. 5 have been threes. How you can get some easier baskets?
Well, you go inside, but they have their big fellow on ND.
Cougs right wing, Ugbo with it. Trying to shake loose. Josh Dalton on him tight. Down low, he finds Okafor into Azanza, and there will be a blocking foul. Those are 2 big men. Rick Azanza, 7'1", the native of Congo. He's in his 6th year of college basketball, 3 years at Oklahoma, now in his 3rd and final year at Loyola Marymount. And then ND Okafor at 6'9", going to be team foul number 5 on Loyola Marymount. So 7:05 to play. First half, Cougs down by 4. Washington State inbounds it cleanly, double teamed immediately. Yalaho goes to Okafor, left wing to Garrett, right back down low to ND. He posts up on the 7'1" defender, up with the right hand, and the shot is no good. Rebound LMU off of the Okafor miss. Here it is, a transition 3. Brown takes it, leaves it just short. Put back dunk by Aaron McBride. There's a way to end that stretch. Only 1 point over 4.5 minutes for LMU, but it's now 27-21. Cougs down by 6, under 6 minutes to go first half. Jerome Morton, top of the key. Begins to drive behind the back move. Left wing, shoves it over to Yalaho. EY puts it on the hardwood. Now to Garrett, 8 on the shot clock. Deep left wing 3. Parker misses the shot. Rebound Shelley for LMU. Pass up to McBride, loses it, and it goes off of the shin of Parker Garrett. LMU takes the risk, and they're rewarded as it just happened to bounce off of a WSU player.
Yeah, and not a lot of fast breaks to be had in this ball game so far, and the opportunity for the Lions to get a fast break basket there. Yeah, you're right. Just Parker being hustling back, but in the wrong place with the ball going off of his shin.
Cougs trailed by as many as 13, now down by only 6 points. 5:23 to play first half from the baseline near the Cougar bench close to the sideline. Vide gets it in cleanly. Azanza catches it right back to Jan Vide, second-year LMU player transferred from UCLA 2 years ago. MJ Amy Jr. drives, guarded by Garrett's. Nice defense, shoves in the corner to McBride. Not enough room to take the 3. Spin move, 6 on the shot clock. Amy for 3. He's got it. And just like that, after being down by only 4, Washington State facing a 9-point deficit, 30